The opinions expressed by the host and guest on this program are solely their own and do not represent the views or opinions of Blind United. We strive to provide diverse perspectives and discussions on our platform, but the opinions expressed should be understood as personal viewpoints and not reflective of Blind United as an organization.
It's time. It's time for
coffee time.
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 And here is your coffee time crew.
Well, good morning, everyone. Even though we are a little delayed, coffee time with Blind United, we here. We made it. Had a few technical difficulties getting started, but we're here now. So this morning I have with me Miss Carol. Good morning, Carol.
Good morning, everyone.
And then my brother George.
Hey, how you doing? And everybody's wondering, hey, what's going on here? But we're good. It's just,
it just took a minute to work it out, but we got it straight now.
It's time to kick them tires, light them fires.
We got it. We got it.
We got it going on now. So, but anyway, wow. Throw it all off my game, right? I was ready to roll, and now I got to re-get myself together here. So, how's everybody doing this morning? You good, Carol?
I am good. I'm not going to complain. It's a nice 42 degrees here in Dallas, Texas, and I got my heat on. I got my coffee sitting in front of me. I'm just ready. Anything that comes about on this Thursday.
Well, I mean, there ain't no telling what might come around the corner.
I'd like it to be something I like, though, Ed.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way life is. You never know what's around the corner.
Life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get.
Okay, Forrest Gump.
Stupid is, stupid does.
Chocolates do have nuts.
So yeah, but no, it's all good. How late are we? Let me see here.
About 10 minutes. We're good. We
9:11. We just run over probably 10, 11 minutes anyway. So, but we'll get this. Let me lean back up on this microphone. Let me get too comfortable. George will start talking crazy to me. I'm sounding too far away.
Is that gag? What are you talking from across the street?
So, but anyway, hopefully everybody's doing well this morning. I got a different angle I'm gonna come at y'all with today. It's about our little ones, y'all, these kids, and the dangers that they deal with, and the ones we know about, these school shootings and all this other kind of stuff. It ain't even in the mix that that I brought for you today, but. It's really sad what's going on out here. People are supposed to be caring for our kids and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
One of the things that parents have to, and we'll probably talk about sometime today, but keep an eye on their kids because when you a lady that her young kid, I think she was in 4th grade. I don't know how old that is. Or no. She was. Wait a minute. I think she was 1st or 2nd grade, and So one day she comes to her mom. She goes, "Hey, Mom, my friend wants to see my teddy bear." And her mom's like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, friend." So apparently this little girl, someone sent her a text message via email. In other words, the recipient had an email address. And this person was asking her, the little girl now, to show her a room, show her teddy bears. And she was doing it because she didn't know. She's innocent, right? And to me, I'm like, wow. So, of course, we report that to the police. But just, these perverts, well, they're gonna find any way they could do to get to kids,
I got a pervert thing for you later, but we're gonna get with this one first.
Why are you talking about like that?
You know what's so weird?
You brought up the perverts.
You did, but I think that, and I'm not that old. I'm about to be 60, but I don't remember daycares. I just remember villages of people that would just sit on the porch and just watch us. We walk through the neighborhood, do whatever we do. And we always show respect to our elders.
Well,
But
Yeah.
I
this
mean, right, and
generation is just
then
different.
this whole thing is different right now, and here's again, George showing one aspect where you need to keep an eye on your kids, but we'll talk on the other side of this. Check this out.
Next up on Coffee Time, we're discussing a shocking case of childcare negligence and its impact on families in Colorado. Hidden Horrors, the Play Mountain Place daycare case. In November 2019, an investigation into Play Mountain Place daycare in Colorado Springs revealed a deeply troubling scene. Following reports of more children being cared for than legally permitted, authorities discovered an appalling hidden operation in the facility run by Carla Faith. What investigators found? When police arrived at the daycare, Faith initially denied the presence of additional children or the existence of a basement. However, officers heard children's voices and uncovered a false wall concealing a stairway. Behind it, they found 26 children, all under the age of 3, crowded into a small, unsanitary basement. Legal consequences for Carla Faith. In August 2021, Carla Faith faced justice. Convictions. 26 counts of misdemeanor child abuse. 1 count of attempting to influence a public servant. 1 count of obstructing a peace officer. Sentence. In October 2021, she was sentenced to 6 years in prison. This case not only highlighted the legal breaches, but also the moral and ethical failures that endangered vulnerable children. The aftermath for families. The conditions at Play Mountain Place had lasting effects on the children and their families. Emotional trauma. Many children experience sleep disturbances and heightened anxiety following their time at the daycare. Parent outrage. Parents expressed feelings of betrayal and deep concern for the lack of oversight that allowed the situation to persist. A call for stronger childcare oversight. The case brought to light critical issues in childcare regulation and enforcement in Colorado. Need for vigilance. Authorities must ensure daycare facilities comply with safety standards and maintain appropriate child-to-caregiver ratios. Strengthening policies. Advocates have called for stricter inspections and harsher penalties for violations to prevent similar incidents in the future. Conclusion. The Play Mountain Place case serves as a stark reminder of the importance of transparency, regulation, and accountability in childcare settings. Protecting children's safety and well-being must always be the top priority, requiring vigilance from parents, regulators, and the community. Now, back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts. Next up on Coffee Time, we're discussing a shocking...
I got a double one there. But we stopped it. I'm having all kind of technical difficulties today, ain't I?
Well, the
Is
thing,
this live?
this is live. Yeah, and that's what's a good thing about being live. And by the way, we're also streaming to the interest group, the Blind United
All
interest group.
right.
But it's true, Mr. Davis. I know when I was younger, I don't know about you, Miss Carol, but there was, I want to say it was childcare, but it was like a home. My mom would take me to a home of a lady, real nice lady, Socorro, and she would take care of like maybe 5 or 6 of us.
But see, that's
Right.
the crazy part about this story. See, I caught this story, and I think the link might be in the description on it. But anyway, this lady here, it was in a home. This woman actually
Oh,
had
okay.
2 homes on the
Yes,
property,
it said a
right?
basement, and we don't have basements here in Texas, but I hear you.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, again, not everybody has basement. We don't know. No, not everybody out here has basement, but there are people got basements, baby. Trust and believe. But in this particular home, they literally built a false wall, okay, to hide the staircase to the basement.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
This woman had one person on the books supposedly working for her, right? And she was only supposed to have maybe 2, 3 kids, 4 kids. I forget what it was, a small number of children. But she ended up having 26.
But
And
I'm surprised she was. Go
to
ahead.
hide them from the regulators, the inspectors, right?
What?
She, she was keeping them in the basement during the day. Whenever the inspectors would show up, all the kids would be down there. And then they'd ask, okay, well, where's the one you're supposed to be taking care of? Oh, well, they at the park with my worker, whatever, the case may be. And bottom line, they got some phone calls, and police went, and she literally, they could hear the music in coming from out of the floor, where
Oh,
the people that
wow.
were down there trying to keep them kids quiet. Okay, that's where the obstruction charge came in.
But I'm surprised that she only got misdemeanors, considering that my little time in criminal justice when I was going to school, that the intent, right, was called the access radius. So
That
her
should be a
intent to hide
felony,
the
George. You're
that's what I'm
right.
saying. It should have been felonies plus, only 6 years. So I'm very surprised.
I think I think some of them were felony, George, because you ain't gonna get no years for misdemeanors.
No, it's true.
You're right.
That's
You're
true.
right.
But maybe those other
You're right.
counts, influence of
Right, 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 right,
you
right.
know, but and it just goes to show, like what I was saying earlier, as to the parents, just keep vigilant. Ask your kids when they come home from school or wherever they're at, hey, how was it? How did it go? Maybe they'll disclose something. Oh, we're in the basement, or they spanked us, or whatever, right? And so I think the parents some way play a part in that, right? But I don't know. I just to me it's amazing that 26 kids were in the in
Well,
and
in
then
this day and age, I'm sorry, George.
look, wait a minute.
I'm just saying, in this day and age, parents they don't have time for their kids.
No,
Back in the day, we all sat at the table and ate dinner and we had
yes, ma'am.
conversations about how your day was. Now, you come, you eat in your room, you might eat with a friend, and nobody communicates anymore.
You
Everything is
know,
just
but
technical.
I'm sorry, Carol, but let's keep it 100. So, I mean, so we having a discussion, right?
Right,
It ain't just that we don't have time for our kids no more. It also has to do with the fact that we got a lot of single family homes. You got a lot
right,
of people that are, even if they are both parents, again, they both working.
you're
Okay,
right,
they trying to do some different stuff to do better, right? They paying a percentage of their income, whatever that percentage may be, for their kids to be in a safe place, right?
right.
Yeah. Now, back in the day, of course, we had our neighbors. Like I lived in an apartment building. My mama needed a babysitter. It was somebody in that building that was going to babysit me.
Yeah,
Right,
and that's that. I think
right,
that's what Carol was saying back in the day. Was, and I guess what's the generation has changed, right, in regards to like how they take care for kids, and so
Well, again, we've lost that sense of community where we don't have that anymore.
we
true.
don't.
I mean,
And
we,
I
we
have to be honest, I'm not a parent. So, people say I don't know, what's going on by me not being a parent. I never had kids, but I was a kid. So, I feel like I might have something to say about
Well, I
it.
mean, again, but see, the only opinion you have is what you had when you were growing up.
When I was growing up, you're right. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I mean, me as a parent, I mean, it was different. It wasn't as bad, right?
Right.
When my kids were coming up. But again, because of, losing that sense of community, I mean, how many of us truly know our neighbors? Okay, you might know one or two. I mean, I know one. That's the guy that lives next door to me, and that's because I bought my house from him.
Okay, but it's funny.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, Jamie Rose is watching. She's here in El Paso. Hi, I know her. She's a friend.
Hi,
But
Jimmy.
Hello, Jamie. So I mean, again, because we've lost that sense of community, we don't have that community help, that village, that we used to
You're
have.
right. Mm-hmm.
it's funny,
You
Mr. Davis, when I started hearing the article you played, it said 26 kids in the room. I'm like, oh, that's a typical Mexican family. So what's the problem?
George, stop it.
so, but again, so my point being, and the reason I did all this, if you're a single parent or you guys got, your family, you're struggling, both parents are working, whatever, man, do your due diligence. Okay. If you got to get a daycare, make sure you get a good one. Make sure you totally vet these people. These are your children.
Yep.
that you're leaving in their possession, right? You're
That's right.
expecting these people to keep them safe. This woman here, she just wasn't thinking about them kids. She got them down in the room and she got way more than she's supposed to have. Why? Because she want to make that money.
Yep.
You know what I'm
Money.
saying?
You know, and,
Money.
and I'm not gonna disclose any names. But there was a person I knew when she was younger. Um, she was her priority was going out, right? So she would go out and folks, she would literally leave her kid anywhere, for a friend's house. She didn't know who any guy. I mean, just anywhere. And I'm like, the priority, right? Where it comes to a kid, and I saw this a lot when I was working for child support. Did you see that huge lack of parenting? I don't know what the word is, but just a lack of something where the parents would rather go out with this cute guy or cute girl and leave the kid behind, and that's not how it works. That's not how it works, you know.
No, when you know, I guess they say that there's supposed to be something goes on with a woman when they have a child, but I know it doesn't happen with all women, of course. But they say once, you know, most women when they have a child, they turn on this motherhood switch,
Yes, I heard that too. Yeah.
you know, and I think it's, you know, it's also, it goes both ways. I mean, you know, if you know for, you know, and you with the person, whatever, you know that child is yours, then I'm gonna change it to the parenthood switch.
Yep.
Mm.
You know,
What do they call it? The cub, the mama bear, and all that. She protects
yeah.
the cub. Yeah.
I mean, again, this is something that we created. You know what I'm saying? It's part of me just as much as a part of, you know, the female. And
Right.
and the bottom line, it's ours. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be just as protective of it. You know, that mama bear, papa bear syndrome kind of thing. You know, I think that's what George is trying to say. You know, so, but no, we gotta do our due diligence. You know what I'm saying? We gotta make sure the people. You don't know who. If you don't know these people, I mean, I don't get mad at people when they say, "No, I'm not letting my kids go over there." I don't know them parents. I don't know what they let their kids do.
But let me
You
ask you
know,
this, Mr. Davis, and this, I'm going to add a twist to this, and I want your perspective because you know you being a father, a grandfather now, I think a
great
great
grandfather.
grandfather, great
Yeah.
grandfather now,
Oh,
one
great
of those.
grandfather. What's
Yeah, one of
up?
those.
That's what's up. Yeah.
Um, when I say this, and I just want because those who are watching who are excited, and I'm bringing the twist to this. So, what do you say, Mr. Davis, and you, Miss Carol, when both parents have a disability, especially blindness? And I mean, we've heard stories here in Texas and New Mexico and even California where the state may step in and say, you know what, you're both blind, you're not really you can't be a parent. So, what do you say to that?
Well, I mean, I'm not supposed to curse, but I say that's boo boo. I know plenty of blind parents that are very good parents, you know. I mean, I know blind parents that go the extra mile to make sure that they keep their child safe when they're out in the streets, you know. Because when I say out in the streets, I don't mean they just run in the streets, but of course, we're parents. We got to go out. We got to go shopping. We got to go to the doctor. We got to go do all the things that everybody else in life does, right? Just because we're blind doesn't give us a pass from doing all those things.
True.
So,
And
you know,
I'm
go ahead.
sorry. And I agree with the same thing. I know some parents that, are blind. They've raised visual children and they've done a great job. And then you have some, parents that have some Down syndrome or what have you. They feel like, okay, you can't raise your child because of whatever your disability is. And I think that exactly what Ed said. It's boo
Well,
boo.
but it's boo boo because why? What we were just saying a few minutes ago. For most folks, right, that parenthood switch, you know what
Right.
I'm saying?
And
It just
so,
turned on. I mean, it's an instinct. You know what I'm saying? This comes
That's
from
right.
me. You
and that's
know,
what I'm saying that, and the reason I bring this up, folks, those who are listening, is there was a case in New Mexico. This is what back in 1995, it was back in the day, but where a parent, a husband and wife, they had a kid, and back then the state of New Mexico stepped in. I think the mother-in-law or somebody had made a complaint or whatever, and they actually wanted to take the kid away. They had to go to court. I think the NFB stepped in regards to
well,
that, but
it may have been more than one then, because the one I heard about was more down in Missouri or Arkansas, somewhere in there, and then the
I heard one
NFB
in
stepped
Oklahoma
in.
as well. Hmm.
You know, the NFB stepped in and they they actually did some training with the social workers in that state, and they, I mean, again, I mean, I get it if they don't know how to take care of that child, but as long as they know how to take care of their child, leave them alone.
Yep.
You
Exactly.
know,
And you know
leave
what, to
them
be honest with
alone.
you, Mr. David, and that seems on two occasions where the parents were blind, the kid is sighted, either female or male, doesn't matter. Those kids, man, they grow up to be the best individuals because they have that compassion where they take care of the parents. And I've seen that one gentleman, he's 23, and the other, she's in their 30s. But man, they are so compassionate, so thoughtful in regards because I think they grew up with that sense of, I gotta take care of my parents. Well, granted, they take care of me, but they have that that ability to understand that, I gotta take care of my parents too, right? Because they're blind. So that's a good character,
It's
personal trait to have.
empathy.
Yeah,
I mean,
empathy.
Empathy.
my kids. So Chanel, the one that lives here with me, she was born the same year I became legally blind.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so but the ones that are older, okay, they had a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever the case may be, with me sighted, right? But for the most part, they've all grown up with me being either legally blind or totally blind. You know,
But you know
so
what? To that, Mr. Davis, I gotta say this, and I want to put your personal stuff out there. But Chanel, when I call, when I'm talking to you on the phone and she comes in, she sounds very like, she's not like dad. Wants, she's her voice. She talks to you like it's not because you can hear that inconvenience when somebody's, what do you want to eat, or well, you gotta do this, or you gotta go there. And with her, I've never heard that with you. She'll go, oh, dad, I made this and this and this. You know,
well, I
um,
mean,
Right.
again, she's coming in to offer me some of what she's cooking. She knows I don't eat everything, so she's let
He's
me
a
know.
meat man.
So I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, again, they just have a greater awareness. And
mhm.
plus, I mean, she's my kid. I've been caring for her all her life. I mean, she cares about me just as much as I care about her. So, uh, I mean, so we're good on that level. So,
Of course. Okay. But think
yeah.
about growing up, Mr. Davis, and then, growing up and that, taking care of you and your wife and whatever it is. But I think that's a good character. That's a good what we were talking about the other day. I don't know if we're talking on air or off air. Now, and just to make a point about prejudice. When a child is born, they don't know prejudice. Black,
Yeah.
white, brown.
It's
They
a show
grow. They
about
grow up
Monday.
with that. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right, right. That was me and you talking off air about the show we did on Monday
Monday.
on
Mm-hmm.
about racism and stuff. But I mean, again, it's taught. It's not inherent. You know what
Exactly.
I'm
That's right.
saying? I
That's
mean,
right.
kids don't. They don't see that when they just see somebody else to play with.
Right.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? That's all they
Exactly.
see. So
And I had shared that experience with me, on the air for the show on Monday. Kids, they just want to make friends, but racism is taught,
Yeah,
and
you're right.
it's
That is
sad.
how.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
Don't
again,
play with you. Don't play with her. Really?
no. Well, I mean, luckily, like that part I didn't have to worry about because, like I said, I was raised in a black neighborhood, so I didn't get that. I mean, when I got older, I could see it more. I mean, I had people that, I mean, like me being a truck driver.
Right. Right.
Okay, I mean, I ran into a lot of truck drivers. That once they found out I had a black family, oh, it was they didn't want to talk to me no more. Whatever, no problem. I don't shoot.
And that's just crazy.
Well,
I
I mean,
mean,
the thing about it is, you ain't got nothing to do with my life. You ain't putting no food on my table. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. It don't. I don't. What you care about, what you think about, the way I live my life, it doesn't bother me because it doesn't
right.
affect me.
it's
Right.
you're in other words, what you're saying, you're right. Right. Your ignorance is not going to impact my life just
That part
because
right there.
you
That's
lack
You
it.
whatever
know.
your parents taught you wrong. Hey, that's not my fault.
So
That's it.
I mean,
And that's it.
but
And and the
it's
black community is more accepting of anybody,
well, I mean,
regardless of your
people.
struggle.
Let me go here. People in general. I mean, now that I'm older, again, when you're younger, you look at things. You might see color, right? But
Right.
as you get older, color fades, and all
It
you see
does.
is people. And now
People.
you start judging people more on their character rather than their ethnicity or their appearance or whatever.
You know, I gotta tell you a story. I was kind of debating if I should say this. It, I was well in our culture, right? The Mexican culture, the cholos, the gangbangers, right? They're you know. So when I was working at Kmart, I was in the service desk, and these two kids came in dressed like typical cholos. And when they walked in, I automatically went to the phone to call security, and I stopped myself. I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I calling security? They haven't done this yet.
You're
They just
profiling.
Yeah, they just walked in, and I felt bad. I'm not gonna lie, I felt bad because that's my race, that's my people. But yet, even within our own people, we have discrimination or
Yeah, you're
profiling.
profiling on your own people.
And I tell you what, folks, cholos
But
are
you
the
ain't the only one, George. Many people do that.
no. But what I'm saying is, it that wasn't taught to me. I guess I through movies because I grew up with other people in my family and friends that hung around cholos. But that's when I don't understand why I walked towards the phone and picked it up to call security. And it bothered me. I'm not gonna lie to you, it bothered me. Like,
It should.
why did I
It
do that?
should. Because you
Yeah.
don't know whether they have ill intentions or not.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm
Exactly.
saying? I mean, if
Yeah.
you're suspicious, then okay, you can lay back and watch them as long as they don't keep acting suspiciously. Then you let them go on about their business.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. I guess what I'm trying to say is subconsciously I had that thought and I never thought I did, right? Until I did that. And I'm like, wow, what that
But
was
see, when you hear me talk about my experiences growing up, I mean, we're getting all in the races. Y'all got me running away from your kids. But
I'm sorry.
Sorry, Ed.
when we get into talking about this racism stuff, right? Like I just said on Monday, this is something that's near and dear to my heart because I grew up as a white guy in a black neighborhood, as I said.
Say that
But
again, Mr. James. The people that are
I
listening to you.
grew up as a white guy in a black neighborhood.
Mhm.
And you
Okay.
do not sound white.
So
But I
it
am
took me a
blonde hair and
month,
blue
Miss
eyes.
Carol. It took me a month to figure that out.
But
I
my
did
point
too,
being
George.
is I seen people, or I mean, again, for you, George, as a Latino Mexican, right?
Mhm.
To do that to your people is one thing, right?
Yeah.
Over in black neighborhood, we call you Uncle Tom.
Yes,
Your
yes,
Uncle
yes.
Tom,
Okay.
right?
Okay. So, but my point being, like I be going with my people, my boys, my friends, whatever. We going to different places. Let's say we're getting ready to go back to school. We going shoot school shopping. We going up into Santa Monica where all the stores are. We walk in the store. We looking for some Levi's and stuff like that for school. They walk in the store and then every eye is on them. Let's watch these little black kids. Let's make sure they don't steal nothing. Whoa, 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 whoa. In the meantime, I'm over on the other side of the store all by myself. Ain't nobody watching me at all. So I was
They
able to
gave you a
see that kind of,
pass.
I was able to see that kind of stuff, So, but
Well,
again,
like Carol, like you, Miss Carol, being a woman and so what's the correct term? Because I was hearing a podcast the other day, and they're talking about that. What's the correct verbiage? Is it black? Is it African American? Is it? I know
I'm
it's not colored. I know that, but
well. I'm gonna say this, and I said it on the show previously. I am black. My ancestors, maybe African American, but I identify as black. I don't like the term African American because I wasn't born in Africa.
true.
I know my ancestors were, you know, not by choice. They came here, but to
Yes,
me,
ma'am.
I'm black.
right,
And,
right, right.
if that's what I got to check on a box, if it's an application or what have you, that's fine.
I'm
But to
Irish
me,
actually.
I am black, you know.
But the thing
So
is, going back to the kids, making a full circle back to the kids, what I said earlier, like you had told me, Mr. Davis, the kids when they grow up and they see stuff and they hear their parents and they, all these black people or these Mexicans and
racism is a learned behavior.
exactly,
It is. It
exactly.
is.
It's a
It
learned
is.
behavior. So, on that note, I'm gonna jump into this commercial for us, and then we'll come back. I got some more kid stuff for you. Hopefully,
Okay.
we can stay on topic.
Yeah, we have me. That's what happens.
But we love you, my brother.
We do,
If you'd
George.
like to know more about Blind United, you can visit our website at blindunited.org. You can email us at info@blindunited.org. You can call us at 909-846-8825. You can follow us on Instagram at Blind United Interest Groups. You can follow us on X at Blind United 22. You can watch our YouTube channel, Blind United. You could join our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Groups, or you can follow our Facebook page, Blind United.
All right.
Join Blind United for a night of fun, food, and festivities at our ugly sweater and sneaker party. Celebrate the season with us while making connections and supporting a great cause. When Saturday, December 28th, 2024. Time, 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Where? VFW Post 2070, Monrovia, California. Cost, $35 per person in advance. Payment deadline, December 18th, 2024. How to reserve your spot. Zelle your payment to Blind United Inc. and use the email blindunited2022@gmail.com. Memo. Include sneaker party and your phone number or email. What's in store? Attire. Bring your holiday spirit. Wear your ugly holiday sweater and your best sneakers. Menu. Enjoy a Mexican fiesta featuring nachos as appetizers, chicken, beef, or pork plates with rice, beans, tortillas, salsa, cheesecake, sodas, and water. Let us know of any dietary restrictions. There is a cash bar, drinks available for purchase. Raffles and contests. Raffle prizes. A 65-inch TV, shipped directly to the winner. An Anyday cookware set and a Ring doorbell must be taken home by the winner that night. Raffle tickets, $5 each or 5 for $20. 50-50 drawing, $1 per ticket or 6 tickets for $5. Contests, show off your creativity and win a $25 gift card for Best Ugly Holiday Sweater, Best Sneakers. Don't miss out. Reserve your spot today for an unforgettable evening of food, fun, and fantastic prizes while supporting Blind United and its mission to empower individuals with disabilities. For more information, contact Ed Davis, CEO of Blind United. Phone 909-532-9513. Email info@blindunited.org. Celebrate, connect, and give back in style.
All right. Well,
just I'm gonna let you the cat out of the mouth. Oh, I said the cat out of the bag for you, Mr. Davis. He's gonna cheat folks for that ugly sweater. He told me to send me a picture of myself. He's gonna put it on the sweater.
I did.
So
I certainly did. I'm gonna go down, take your picture to the mall, and I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna go one place and buy a sweater, and I'm gonna go to the other place and say, look, put this picture on this sweater.
You're gonna win for sure, man. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Either that or Donald Trump. But anyways, we're going to the next story.
Oh Lord. Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah. I mean, if you live here in the L.A., San Bernardino, Orange County, whatever, we're close by. Come hang out with us and enjoy some good food and fun, and a lot of nice people. We got a different kind of crowd. Come hang out with Blind United. So. We like to party, so if you don't want to party, then don't come. So
you better have some good music.
Well, I mean, you can sit over in the corner and just rock your head and stomp your feet, whatever you want to do. If you
That's not a party.
But we're gonna make sure we got plenty of room so you can get up and shake a tail feather if that's what you choose to do as well. Because we got Brother George in his other capacity. He's gonna be our virtual DJ for us for the night. So
I'm gonna play corridas. I'm gonna play all of Mexican songs. Not really. No, I'm gonna play some good music, man.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. So anyway, let's get into this next one. So another issue with kids, right, is child predators. So check this one out.
Next up on Coffee Time, we're exploring the complex and controversial story behind Pervert Park, officially known as the Palace Mobile Home Park, and its role in addressing housing challenges for sex offenders. What is Pervert Park? Located in St. Petersburg, Florida, the Palace Mobile Home Park, established in 1996 by Nancy Murray, provides housing for approximately 120 individuals convicted of sex crimes. Known by its controversial nickname, the park offers a solution for those facing severe housing restrictions under Florida law, which prohibits offenders from living within 1,000 feet of places like schools and playgrounds. Balancing housing and rehabilitation. Challenges in housing. Stringent residency restrictions leave many convicted sex offenders unable to find compliant housing, driving them to isolated communities like this one. Rehabilitation programs. The park fosters a unique environment for accountability, featuring group therapy sessions and support systems designed to reduce recidivism. Residents report that living among others with similar histories creates opportunities for mutual support and accountability. Balancing. A closer look through film. In 2014, the park gained international attention through the documentary Pervert Park, directed by Frida and Lasse Barfers. The film offers an intimate exploration of the residents' lives, their struggles with societal stigma, and their efforts toward rehabilitation. Pervert Park earned critical acclaim, winning the World Cinema Documentary Special Jury Award for Impact at the 2015 Sundance Film Festival. Controversy and public perception. Despite its intentions, the park has faced significant backlash. Proximity concerns. Reports reveal that the park is near child-centric facilities, raising alarm among local residents and authorities. Vandalism and stigma. The park has been targeted by vandalism and is often met with public disdain, reflecting society's broader challenges in balancing reintegration with public safety. Broader ethical debate. Critics question the effectiveness of such communities in preventing recidivism, while others argue they provide a necessary avenue for housing and rehabilitation. Conclusion. The Palace Mobile Home Park embodies the tension between public safety and the societal obligation to rehabilitate individuals after incarceration. As a model of both controversy and necessity, it raises critical questions about how communities can best support offender reintegration while ensuring safety and fostering trust. What are your thoughts on communities like the Palace Mobile Home Park? Do they strike the right balance between accountability and second chances? Let us know in the comments. Now, back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts.
All right. Well, before we get started, George, will you check comments for me, please?
Right now, I'm on Facebook. There's no comments on Facebook. You want me to go to YouTube?
You can go wherever you want to go. You can just go straight down from where you're
that's
at
right.
in here.
I'm sorry. I'm not used to this, guys. Go ahead and tell. Yeah, normally Pedro's our producer, so
right. Well, plus we're missing Brittany. She normally handles the comments. So
got it. All right.
But anyway, I mean, so just understand. So I get these topics. I hear about these things, right? So I go and I looked and I seen a YouTube on this stuff. Then did I get into that documentary? No, I did not. Then I do my research and I pull up information on it. Now I create the articles based on that, right? So I understand the need. These guys got to live somewhere. You know what I'm saying? What are we going to do? Take them, put them out in the middle of the desert?
Yeah, Monica says, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Monica.
Good morning, Monica.
Well, to me, Mr. Davis, and this is where, like I said, a matter of fact, Lulu has an associate's in criminal justice, and that was maybe 3 semesters short of my bachelor's. And the thing is about the behavior. That's the thing we have to focus on. Controlling that behavior, those tendencies, and to me, when it comes to kids and being a predator, you're feeding on that innocence a kid has. In other words, They don't know is it good from bad or bad from good. And the thing is, to me, that's kind of a higher level type of crime. For example, what I mean by that is the predator, he or she, right? That their intent was to satisfy whatever they needed, right? Their thoughts or whatever. And to me, I think that's a lifelong tendency. And to me, honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. What you just said, they should be out there, that's just my thought because you know.
So you think they need to be out in the middle of the desert somewhere?
Well, the thing is, this when you yes, in the short way, I'll say yes. Well, not in the middle of the desert, but outside the area where
Well, I mean, again, they gotta have somewhere to live. Okay,
sure,
if they out in the middle of nowhere, right?
yes.
Where they gonna work? How they gonna take care of themselves?
And that's the thing. And I knew a gentleman. He spent 10 years in prison for I don't know the exact charge, but I know it had to do something with a sexual assault on a child. And he had a very hard time finding employment or even housing. He couldn't really be in the apartment. And there was I don't know if there still is a facility here in downtown El Paso where they would go live in the building. But he did have that, right? That stigma. Once he found out what his charge was, when he filed an application for work
Right, right.
later, so he at one point he was homeless. Part of last time I spoke. Go ahead.
I mean, again, myself personally, I mean, I get it. They need somewhere to live. I think the concept of this park is, kind of like a, community of them, again, as long as they're not still predators. And from what I'm hearing in the article, there's actually programs in there. They do regular group therapy stuff, and they got a support system there, whatever. The problem is with this one, that when I was putting all this together, right across the street is a daycare.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly.
So my point being, now depending on who was there first, whether it was the trailer park as a rehab center for sexual predators, or the daycare. Bottom line, if the daycare came second, then they shouldn't be there.
And that should have been the due diligence of the owner of the daycare to know,
Right,
not knowing
right.
that across the street you have 120.
Well, let's go here, George. Let's let accountability fall where it may, where it's supposed to, right? As well. Yes, it is on the owner of the daycare, but guess who else is on?
The county
The
or
The people that's giving them a permit to operate. No, the people that's giving them a permit to operate that business in that neighborhood, they know what's going on in that neighborhood.
Matter of fact, here where we live in our neighborhood, Mr. Davis and Miss Carol, down the street, I want to say maybe 6, 7 houses around the corner from where we live. My wife was always telling me somebody puts they take it down, but somebody keeps putting a sign on the fence saying predator lives here, And when I did a what do you call it, the search, sex offender search, there's actually one down the street from where we live, and to me,
Probably more than that.
I'm gonna tell you even one more. We get like it's like an index card that tells you it's a sex offender that is living in your neighborhood. And they'll give the address. They'll have a picture of the individual. I feel that everybody can reform if they truly want to. I think back even as a child, my mother always taught me, I'm lesbian, but my mom always taught me, even with my uncles, don't sit on their lap, hug them from the side. I was taught that as a child. I believe that everybody can be reformed if they truly want to be.
Well,
But
and
some
that's my
people,
point about, I'm sorry, Carol, but that's my point as well about needing the type of community that this is supposed to be. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting there trying to, defend what they've done.
right,
Okay. I'm
right. Because
defending
I
their
don't
right.
understand it. I
I'm
don't.
defending their right to change, to be better.
Right.
That's all that's
and
what
you're
I'm
right.
speaking on, right.
To that, I do agree. You're right. Everyone, no matter what, should have that opportunity
That
to.
opportunity, yes.
But again, everybody plays a part in this, again, as a parent, if I was going to take something, to that, my child to that daycare. Okay, well, okay, what's going on? Let me vet this daycare. Let me look around the neighborhood. Wait a minute, what's going on over here at this, I mean, I don't know. I, again, being the nickname Pervert Park right across the
Which I
street.
thought,
Right.
was a strip club, by the way. But go ahead.
So, but again, it's about it's again, I know a lot of people don't like talking about kids and stuff like that, but kids are innocent
They
victims.
are.
Yes.
They are.
They are prey for predators,
They are.
Yes.
right? So the whole purpose of what I'm doing here today is trying to wake up that within all of us, right?
Yesterday, Mr. Davis, I saw this on Facebook, and again, I'm going to provide a twist, and I'm sorry, and I want to include this discussion is individuals with intellectual disabilities. And the reason I say that because there's a story out of I think it's Dallas where you live, Miss Carol, or Fort
Right.
Worth. An Amazon employee was grooming
One of the associates
Did
that
you see
worked
that one?
there. Yes, I
Yeah,
did.
and this gentleman. Well, I shouldn't even call him a gentleman. He groomed a co-worker that had an intellectual disability, and he
Hmm.
took her to a hotel and he raped her several times.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And to me, it's just that's what we really have to watch out. Those, like you said, Mr. Davis, those innocent people, the innocent,
Right.
the
Innocent
kids.
victims.
Well, exactly.
Whether it's a child or whether it's somebody with an intellectual disability. I mean, again, this person could be 30, 40, 50 years old and have the mental capacity of a 10-year-old.
Of a
Exactly.
10-year-old. You're right.
Mhm.
So I mean, again, we got to watch out for all of them as a community that we've lost that sense of community. We need to reach inside of us and try to find that community again. Man, I don't care if them people down the block walk around with turbans on or whatever they doing or whatever, it doesn't matter to me. They still here. They still trying to live their best life just like me. So rather than shun our neighbors, we embrace our neighbors. We become a community again. I'm watching out for your kids just like you watching out for my kids, just like the neighborhoods that I grew up in. You know, I mean, when I was younger and getting into stuff as a boy, I'm just what we do. We get into stuff, right? Man,
Right.
I can't tell you how many times I done got my butt whooped on the way home to get my butt whooped.
Right. Me too,
You,
Ed.
you know, or
And you know what, Mr. Davis, and let me bring this up real quick. So this is where I grew up too, right? Back in the early '70s, late '70s, early '80s, where spanking your child was even in school. I remember when my mom was in Dallas. I went to school and I know it was, I'd swallowed a penny. I went to the principal's office and he spanked me with a wooden paddle. And
With
but
the holes in it.
yes, and the thing
Yeah.
to me, that's like what you said, Mr. Davis. That discipline has been taken away from the parent. Where now
it's
the
been taken
kid,
away from everybody. I like just like you. The vice principal of my junior high school, he would tell me, "Okay, lean over and grab the edge of that desk."
Grab that desk. That's
yep,
right. You're
Okay,
right,
yep.
Ed.
and he would pop you on your butt with that paddle. I mean, depending on the level of your crime, right? Is one or two swats. You know what I'm saying? I've
Right.
seen guys that got three swats.
And I
You
think
know,
that discipline component kicks in because my uncle who really raised me, he would whip you. He would tell you one time, he would hit the belt with the buckle, and that thing. My three cousins, me and my two cousins, we never got in trouble. Never gangs, drugs, nothing because that level of discipline was there. Or nowadays, the kid has the opportunity to call child.
but see,
Child CPS.
why?
Yeah.
Why it's against the law to whip your children now, George?
Boy.
Because of people that don't know where to draw the line. There's a difference between a whooping and
And a
abuse.
beating.
No, I
Hmm.
get that. No, I understand that. But what I'm saying is, even that to that level is not. It's taken away from the parent where they can't nowadays is what.
You can't say, okay, well, you can only hit them once or twice. You can't say that.
No,
You're
it's
either
true.
gonna let them whoop your children or you're gonna take it all away.
Well, I guess
There's
that's
no
for
in between on that. That's the problem. I mean, do I agree with it? No,
No.
I don't agree with it.
No.
Even though I have never whooped my children, my wife was a disciplinarian in my house. But my point being, when they took that away from the parents, the ability to discipline their children, whoop their children, not beat their children, but whoop their children, that's when we lost control of our kids.
and it's sad when I was at Kmart, but mid early 1990s. folks. I would hear the one. I would hear like, "Mom, I want toy," and they say no. They start crying. Now, let's go 15 years down the road. You hear kids in the streets, and the mom says, "No, you can't get that." Oh, you sorry, fat bit. And I'm like, wow,
Yeah,
wow,
because
wow, wow.
again, I mean, again, it's crazy, it's crazy, it's crazy, but again, we we still we got to watch out for these kids.
True,
Yes,
I get that.
I mean, do we need a certain level of discipline? Yes, we do. Okay, we all do. Now, the timeout don't work for all children. Okay, taking stuff away from them don't work for all children.
Well,
I
let me,
mean,
No.
let me ask you this, Mr. Dennis, Miss Carol, and I tell people this. I was came up for 7 years, and out of those 7 years, one incident that really stuck with me, and it bothered me. So I don't know. Well, let me tell you the story. So I was a cat. No, I was a cashier. This little girl comes in and she wants to buy a Barbie. Am I okay? And she was by herself. I go, "Where's your mommy and daddy?" "Oh, they're in the car." Okay. And she pine was changed. And so cool, right in the little purse and sticking everything down. I'm like, oh, cool. So I'm helping her count it. She was like 10 cents short or 15 cents short or I forgot what it was. So I told her, you know what? I told me, I got it. Don't worry about it. So thank you. I gave her the receipt and she walked out. And then several minutes later, I saw the kid come back, walking towards me was a gentleman. So that's what caught my attention because we weren't that busy anyways. So I turned around and I go, "Can I help you?" The guy looks at me and goes, what do you want? What are you trying to do? I'm like, "Excuse me?" Goes, "Yeah, my daughter told me that you." I go, "Yes, sir. It's only 10 cents. No big deal." But for some reason, that raised a red flag for me. I don't know
Oh,
why, and it just bothered me for
wow.
all these years later. And to me, I'm like, even the cashier next to me, she's like, "What was his problem?" I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the 10 cents is 10 cents, right? But I
well,
don't
but
know.
I mean, again, you don't know what is. He didn't give you a reason why he was coming in there approaching you,
Well, he did that.
whatever.
He asked
So,
me, he goes, "What do you want? What do you want from my daughter?"
well,
And I'm like,
absolutely
"What?"
nothing.
Yeah, I just gave her
Your
10 cents
daughter,
too.
your daughter was 10 cents short, so I gave her 10 cents so she can get her Barbie.
Yeah, I mean,
I
besides,
mean,
I was always
I
over anyway, so it was cashiering. But
so, but anyway, I mean, again, we got to these kids. They are important to us. They're important to everybody. Again, finishing up with this other one. We got to have a place for them too as well. They've got to have the opportunity for them to change their ways, but at the same time, everybody's got to be held accountable. Whether it's the parents, whether it's the zoning folks, people that's passing out the permits for these various businesses. Because if that trailer park truly is a rehab center, guess what? They got a permit too.
you're right.
Okay, just like
You're right.
that child care had a permit. They got to be licensed to be in them areas. So
That's
there's no
right.
reason that they should be
But
in the
you know,
same.
was that, Mr. Sorry to interrupt you, but was that, you are correct when you say accountability, because let's say if it's a rehab, right? I'm more sure there's some type of state oversight. You would think if a state employee or auditor or whoever goes to that facility, you don't think when you're coming out of the parking, you can say, "Hey, there's a daycare across the street," right? I mean, I just think
Oh,
that,
What we have here is boarding houses, and they house, sexual offenders and all of this. But, they do have counseling available, things to help them to try to just better their lives. I'm not saying that anybody that comes out that does go in can't come out better, but we still have to be diligent and watch these children, because the parents sometimes
right.
they're too busy to not do that. And every predator that had a past doesn't mean that they can't change their future.
Well, this is true. I mean, I don't care what your past was. It doesn't. That your past does not dictate your future.
Right. But
I
we
mean,
still have to be diligent about the children that are out there, period.
exactly. I mean,
We
again,
got to incorporate that safety
you got
in.
to give them the opportunity. And to your answer, your question, George, that's the problem. That inspector, of whether it's an inspector from that school or whether it's an inspector from the rehab center, whatever it was, they are not being held accountable. Like you said, they coming out of that trailer park, they know that there's, all these sexual predators living here. They pull out the driveway, they see that daycare over there. Wait a minute, we need to do something about that. If they just look and go the other way, then they should be held accountable. Just like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna go all the way around with this one. When we got good police, so supposed good police, standing back watching bad police do what they do.
Right.
And
Them
by the
good
way,
police
we have a
are
mean Bailey. I hope I'm saying that right. She says good morning, or he or she says good morning.
Good,
good
good
morning,
morning,
good
me.
morning. So I mean, again, just like like I said, look at all them kids, all them police that were standing around watching Chauvin when he had his knee on George Floyd's neck or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right. They could have stepped up.
They could have stepped up. You had all them good supposed, that's why they were held. That's why they were being charged as well, because they didn't do nothing to stop this man from choking this man to death. Okay,
Right.
same thing. These inspectors, like I said, he knows what's going on in this trailer park. If he's coming out and he's seen that daycare, then he should be held accountable. No, you know what? We need to do something about this. No, something needs to be done. The daycare needs to move, or the trailer park needs to move, or something. I don't know, but we got to do something. Just to protect the kids. I mean, that's not saying that these folks that are living in the rehab center have not been rehabilitated or not on the road to being rehabilitated. But again, you don't let a diabetic walk around and seize candy.
Right. You're
Sure.
right.
You just don't do that. Because they're gonna reach down and grab some candy. They ain't gonna ask where's the sugar-free candy at either.
Or for alcoholic, you don't have beer in the house,
You
so
don't have. That's right. That's right.
All of that. So I mean, again, we just got to be more diligent about our kids. Whether, like I said, both of these got daycares involved. You know what I'm saying? Where I believe that even the parents play a part in it. You know what I'm saying? Investigate what's going on around you. The least you can do for your kids, because you're sacrificing your relationship with your child by working a job so you can pay the bills and provide a good life. I get the purpose, right? But because you're sacrificing a piece of your relationship, the very minimum you can do is make sure that you're leaving your child at a safe environment.
and I just thought about thing, Mr. David, when you said about the parents. I remember back in the day that I was in elementary, and and I remember this real distinct. Well, not. But anyways, back in the day, the gangs and all this, they would wrap a bandana around their leg, right? And so I thought it was cool. I was doing that, and my mom showed up to my school at lunchtime, and she called me. So I'm walking around. She called me. She was, come here. I walked up. I'm like, oh crap! My mom saw me with a scarf around my, you know. But the thing is, to me, it's just my mom did her due diligence. And like, for example, one time I was telling her I was complaining about the food at school. She showed up and she goes, "Okay, I want to try this out. You're always complaining," and she did. She didn't like it. I took lunch, but like what you're saying, Mr. David, is true. Go to that daycare, just pop up out of the blue, or to the school just to see, what's how your kid's acting at lunch and stuff like that. So I just think that helped me to the person I am today.
Well, I mean, that as well as, I mean, I'm sorry, this is my child. You living in my house. I'm coming up in your room. I'm sorry. No, you don't have no privacy till you go get your own place.
Exactly.
Okay, if you're not in that bathroom using it or taking a shower, that's the only privacy you
That's
got
when you
up in
get
here.
that's when you get real good with hiding your Playboys and your.
I mean, whatever. I mean, again, I'm coming up in there. Oh, you got something to say? Let me show you how we do this. Take that door off and put it in the garage.
My uncle did
No.
one time, and I don't know.
I had a friend do that. Take the door off of their children's bedroom because they had no privacy.
Well, what my uncle did a long time ago with one of my cousins, he graffitied something, right? So my uncle did. Okay, you want to destroy other people's property? All right. So he went and bought a spray can. He goes, walked into the room. Okay, here. Gave him a spray can. Goes, go ahead and spray all your clothes. What? Go ahead and spray all your clothes. And he stood there until he sprayed her. And my cousin was crying. My uncle sees. How do you feel? How do you feel that you're damaging your own clothes? Well, I don't like it. Well, you should think about that when you spray someone's house or car, someone's car, and to me, it's just the incorporation of parents, either single or not, should be with the kids. Not just leave them there and go party.
No, no, no. And because of the fact that we can no longer put our hands on our children, now you got to come up with creative ways of punishment and discipline.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, right there. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's still his child. He didn't ruin all his clothes. He got to go buy him some more clothes. But it was an expensive lesson.
Right.
But
No.
my point being,
My cousin was of age, so he had to go buy his own clothes if he wanted clothes.
okay.
And another thing, guys, folks who are watching, the young parents, if you send your kid, go to your room. You send them with their phone. That's not punishment. They're going to be on their phone.
Well, I mean, again, like I said, some kids that'll bug the mess out of them. Other kids, I'm telling you, I got a grandson. When he was coming up and he was doing stuff and take his game away or whatever, he just go up and sit in the room by himself, wouldn't say nothing. You know what that turned him into?
What?
A recluse.
Oh, that's true. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Okay. He got comfortable with being alone. He got comfortable with being alone. So being alone and not having anything to do, it didn't bother him.
Right.
It got to a point where it wasn't punishment anymore. So, I mean, again, but there's other ways to do it. Like I said, being right there, you know what I'm saying? Take them and make them go work at the homeless shelter, at the outreach, passing out food or, something. You know what I'm saying? Something.
You know what I hated more than anything? I would rather get a whooping back in the day than to be talked to. My mother would hurt my feelings more. My dad would hurt my feelings more than talking to me. I would rather just get the whooping and get it over with and let me go.
Well, my mama was, I'd rather get a whooping than get restriction. Oh, you on punishment for 2 weeks. You can't go nowhere. Oh, mama, please whoop me.
No, right?
Don't make me stay in this house. So
get it over
anyway, folks, we at the end of our hour with 10:10 and whatnot. So anyway, we're just trying to bring some different stuff to the table, trying to talk about some real life stuff. So
our article, Mr. Davies, I taught you well. You're doing real good with the articles.
Oh wow, George.
Not really.
Now if I could just teach you to stay on topic, we'd be real good.
Yeah, that's just the nature of my.
I know, my brother. I know, my brother. And then that's why we love you on here. And but anyway, thanks to everybody that dropped in and dropped a comment on us, or those may drop a comment later on. Right. If you like what we do, please like, subscribe, follow, hit the notification bell, share, all that other good stuff. You know what I'm saying? If you got any topics that you would like us to talk about here on Blind United Coffee Time, please drop me an email, info@blindunited.org, and we'll see what we can do with it and make it happen. Bring that as a topic in a future show. So on that note, everybody enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Have a great day.